can't believe it. Let's go ahead and refresh the stream real quick. It's not live on my computer yet. There we go. Hello everyone and welcome to Gremlin Lord Live episode 22, Valentines 2026. This is our 22nd episode of Gremlin Lord Live. Today we have quite a load here of brand new movies to talk about. As you already know, as I'm sure you saw from the thumbnail. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the old computer plugged in real quick. Anyhow, today we're going to talk about 4 movies. They are Whistle, Iron Lung, Send Help, and Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Those are the 4 things we're talking about. I don't have them in any order at the moment. So, I need to go ahead and bring up my little notes for each movie. This is like one of the first times I actually have notes for every movie. Usually I don't have notes for the last movie because I usually watch it the day of the stream. So, which isn't really, you know, smart to do. I'm gonna roll this back a little. Oh, look at those hearts. Those hearts are very nice. Very nice. And we're gonna go to IMDb. There's people who are throwing those hearts up. Is there a specific movie you would like to see first? I'm not a very smart man. What's not very smart? It's like an ocean wave of hair. His hair is in my face. Where's my hair tie? Do Whistle. Why is that the one you don't want to hear? So I always, every time you request something, it's usually because you don't want to hear about it. But we could do Whistle. And I tell you, honestly, I was surprised by Whistle. I was genuinely surprised by it. And maybe I just don't give horror, like, you know, these kitschy horror movies enough chance. You know, maybe that's on me. Maybe that's on me. All right, let me go to Whistle. That is Iron Lung. There's Whistle. I don't have a lot of notes on this one, but we can talk about it. So Whistle came out this year, obviously, on February 6th. So just last week, it just came out. It is rated R. It is an hour and 40 minutes. It is released by IFC and Shudder. It is another Shudder film making its way to theaters, which is good. I like seeing variety out there. You know, Late Night with the Devil was a Shudder movie as well. All right, so here's the description of the film. I had to put it up, man. I instantly get hot as soon as I start streaming. And of course I have to close the door. So, a misfit group of unwitting high school students stumble upon a cursed object, an ancient Aztec death whistle. They discover that blowing the whistle and the terrifying sound it emits will summon their future deaths to hunt them down. Rated R. So the main character in this movie is Chris Willett, or Chrysanthemum. She's played by Daphne Keane, which is the little girl from Logan. And she reprised her role as X-23, the girl with the 2 claws, in Wolverine and Deadpool. It says Hi Vetter in my computer screen. It says Hi Bets, B-E-T-S, on my phone. Don't get it. Also, Hi Vetter. So, I mean, it probably sounds like the type of horror movie that you're going to expect, right? You know, a group of teenagers, who find this death whistle and stuff. And they blow it. There is a guy named Sky Yang in this, and I was like, I know that name. I know this name, Sky Yang. Yeah, she's like fully grown. Like I mean, she's obviously still young, but I mean, she's not that little kid that I remember from Logan. But Sky Yang, he was in Anniversary, which was a movie we talked about, I believe, Thanksgiving-ish last year. Pretty sure it's Thanksgiving. His birthday's not on IMDb, so he's a good-looking individual, we'll say. Yeah, Wolverine, Deadpool, me too. She was also in The Acolyte, which I didn't watch because I don't have Disney Plus. You know, also who's in this movie? Nick Frost, the guy from like Shaun of the Dead. He's in this movie. I almost moved my seat because it was so loud. I mean, I know it's supposed to be loud because it's a death whistle, but I'm pretty sure there was like a speaker like right here above my head, and it was just like, what? And I'm like, oh my god! It's like, I can't. I didn't move my seat, but I almost did. I was like, holy crap! I was like, I'm gonna be deaf in my right ear. I'm gonna turn myself down a little bit because I don't need to hear myself echo that much. You know who else is in this movie? Percy. Hold on, his name is Percy Hines White, and he is in My Old Ass. And he was such a sweetheart in that movie. He is a disgusting youth pastor who sells drugs to little kids in this movie. It's like complete 360, complete 180 from his other character in My Old Ass. So, anyway, let's see. It does have like a normal horror movie kind of feel to it. You got, you know, the group of kids. She's the new girl in town. Her cousin is kind of like an outcast kid, which is Sky Yang. And there's like the pretty girl who's with the jock, but she's not a cheerleader, but she's really smart. One of the Yellow Jackets? I have no idea, sir. I don't know who's in Yellow Jackets. So, you got the. There's only one jock? No, there's two jocks. Well, the one jock dies at the beginning. There's more than one jock. Anyway. So they find this whistle, and the teacher blows it first by himself. And then, of course, death comes for you. And you the way it works is that you see the version of you that is you when you die. So basically, everybody's predestined to die a certain way when you're born, right? Whether you're going to die at the age of 100, or you're going to die at the age of 12, or you're going to die, like, no matter what it is, that's what you're going to see. So, well, I'm not using a mic. I'm using my phone directly. Like, this is so I can hear myself on my computer. I don't have a mic. I'm just using my phone. I'm poor, remember? God. And I can't really talk. I mean, I'm already talking pretty loud. I feel like if I talk any louder, I feel like I'm going to be screaming. Just if you listen a little louder, I won't have to speak up for you. Because that's what I mean. I hear myself perfectly fine. I turn myself down. But I also haven't worked around jet engines, so there is that. But yeah, so depending on how you die, you don't know how you're going to die, obviously, but that's how you see yourself. So this isn't really, I guess it's kind of a spoiler, but he's not a main character or anything. So there's this first guy who dies, what he sees is this person in this economy. It's a 50 Cent lyric. if you listen a little faster, I won't have to slow down for you. Anyway, so he sees this figure that's like on fire and like molten. Where would I spend eternity if I were to die today? Well, we already talked about the movie Eternity in one of my previous videos. So if you want to talk about that, we can go ahead and you can go watch that video there, A. Lopez. Okay. So what the thing that he sees is like this smoldering body of a person. You know, ash falling off, they're on fire kind of thing. Like not like Human Torch, but like, you know, like a burnt person, basically. And we don't know that that's, you know, technically him. So it's really creepy and really freaky. And then obviously he gets killed by it. And then he ends up being a burned body. So we don't know this yet, but as it moves on, you start noticing a pattern where the person who's killing them looks like, kind of like them when, after they're dead. So it really just depends on when you're destined to die. Yeah, like and subscribe. Sorry. But I gotta say, the death scenes in this movie are really good. I'm curious to see how much of it's practical effects, because a lot of it looked really good, and I'm sure that there's some really good practical effects done. There's quite a bit of gore in it. I mean, these people die pretty crazy deaths. Yeah, Shudder has been on it. I mean, I can't name you any other Shudder movies right now off the top of my head. Was Good Boy a Shudder movie? I think Good Boy might have been a Shudder movie. The dog movie. Not the other Good Boy movie, which is about a guy whose roommate is a human who dresses as a dog. We're talking about the actual dog movie. Super like, I mean, it has like just super graphic. And I was thinking like, well, how are they going to show that person's death? And then they show it, and I'm like, okay, fantastic. You know, because like somebody dies in a car accident. I was like, how are you going to show somebody dying in a car accident? Because obviously the person that's chasing them is all, you know, deformed and stuff from a car accident. And basically what happens is that you see that person just as themselves, and their body goes through the motions of like a car accident. It's super crazy. They only blow the whistle once. So the teacher blew the whistle because they were in detention, and like a teacher took the artifact and he blew the whistle, and then, you know, he ends up, but they're all together doing like a project, and they blow it, and then they start seeing these weird figures out, you know, and they're like, did you see one too? Kind of like how like I saw something too, and I saw something too, kind of thing. And then, you know, it starts going from there. But it's super graphic, like, which is fine. I mean, it's rated R. I don't care, but it was pretty great. I'm genuinely impressed with how good the deaths looked. There's still CGI in there, of course, but I'm genuinely impressed with how some of the shots really came together. And I'm sure they made like sculptures of people's bodies and stuff, so they could just like blow things or like dent things. Like I'm sure they did a whole bunch of great like physical stuff, because some of the stuff they couldn't have done with CGI the way they did it, and the way it looked good. It is a really interesting angle too, because like you're almost all the characters, the thing that they're seeing, they can't tell that it's them. They can't tell that it's themselves, except for the one person, because the way that they die isn't like body mutilating. So the person they're looking at looks like them. And it's like, and that's how they kind of piece it together. It's not a spoiler. It's a general horror movie. Sure. And Rian. Oh, it sounded horrendous, Prince. It was like high pitch and like screams, like all layered into this obnoxious, awful sound. Like I told you, I had to like cover my ear because there was a speaker right here, and just like wah! And I was like, oh my god. Thankfully, like I said, they only blow it like you only hear it blown twice, I think. No, 3 times. Um, but oof, it was really. I'm sure, like I said, it's just because that speaker. I'm sure it wasn't, anything else. And it has like the little stinger ending that you would expect that nobody in the theater stayed to see except for me. Everybody left. It was only like me, a guy and a girl in the corner, and then these 2 dudes like right behind me, sitting 1 seat apart because it's gay to sit next to your friends. And they were like chit-chatting the whole time, but it wasn't like that annoying. But you could hear them like laugh at certain things and stuff. But they want to hold hands. I don't know. I mean, Zell and I, when we go to the movies, we sit next to each other. I think one time we didn't, and then it's just kind of weird because you're kind of like trying to like, hey, what you? They're all over there. Did they explain the history of the whistle? No. No, they looked it up and they saw what kind of whistle it was and stuff, but clearly you're gay. How dare you even assume such a thing? What is it about going out of the way to make sure everyone knows? How dare you? This is God's promise flag. Don't be homophobic, okay? But this is God's promise flag. Like, I love women, bro, like. And you see the way that it drew that flag, God's promise flag, drew you into this live. You saw that and you were like, I need to be in that live. That's why it's there. Because you couldn't resist. You should be who you are. Be who you are. Yeah, subscribe to the channel and like it. Thanks. A total fox. What does the fox say? Click, 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 click. I don't have a rating written down for this movie. Huh. I do like bread as well. Thanks, Tommy. I do like bread. Thanks, Nini. You live in Seattle. That's a strange thing to add into your statement. I live in Seattle. Why are people gay? I don't know what to tell you. Use the internet. Search up boys kissing, well, not boys, say men kissing men. There you go. Anyway, so Whistle. I don't know, I genuinely liked it. I don't usually give these type of horror movies like a chance. I kind of think they look a little corny, and I feel like they're probably gonna be fine. And this one had the usual horror movie, B-movie tropes, the angsty teenager, the dumb jocks. It was all there. But I'm hurting inside. I do have a little bit of a cramp. You're right, I do have cramps right now and a little diarrhea. But that's just from what I ate for dinner, so I'm glad that you are sorry and you feel for me in my time of medical need. It's all right though, I'll have some fiber tomorrow and I'll be perfectly fine. If you feel really sorry for me, you should like the live and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Thanks, bud. But so it has all the usual tropes that you would think. And the acting's a little, what you would expect from teenager antics. So I was really just impressed with the kills. And I really like the idea of the lore of the thing that's killing you is you. I think that's really nifty. Because then it's really sad, because if you're getting killed by this old person, that means you would have lived such a long and great life if you didn't blow that whistle, Nene? I actually review all kinds of movies, but a lot of the ones we're talking about tonight are horror movies. We're doing Iron Lung, Whistle, Send Help, and Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which is not a horror movie. Yeah, all opinions about movies are welcome, of course, because we're talking about movies. Nee, okay. I don't like mispronouncing people's names, unless I do it on purpose. Yeah, usually I do a review a week. If you happen to look at my channel, you'll see I do like a video a week. And it's usually for a specific movie, whether it's the Regal Mystery movie or if it's a movie that I picked myself. But this week we're doing a live because I wanted to see a bunch of movies. So I went and saw a bunch of movies. So you talk about it. And now we're talking about Whistle. But we're at the end of Whistle. And I need to think of a rating for this. I mean, it was much better than I thought it was going to be. I really liked all those crazy, gruesome deaths. I was really expecting just a bunch of like CGI stuff. I really was. But it wasn't. It really felt like... I really liked the gore and the blood, and I liked the idea of it, Prince. Well, you can't get much better than me. I mean, you could, but... I do try to be honest about how I feel about the movie, and if somebody disagrees with me, it's perfectly fine. You just gotta tell me why you feel that way. But I mean, Prince, I'm not a fan of the, angsty teen angle. I'm not a fan of the not as great non-scared acting. Like the acting when they're not terrified. They all did a really good job of being terrified. It's just the other interactions they have with each other, like, ugh, you're such a dumb nerd, kind of like that stuff. That wasn't great. I mean, if it's supposed to not be great, that's a different story, but I don't think they were really going for that satirical angle in this movie. Daphne Keane, the girl from Logan, she was just okay. I mean, she has like this one look throughout most of the movie, and she's just kind of flat. Obviously, when she's scared. But Ellie Gaines is the... Who did Ellie Gaines play? Oh, Sophie Nalise. She plays one of the not popular, but one of the other characters that we meet. That was the character. Oh, okay, yeah. She is diabetic. She was good in it. Again, the acting is not the best, but it's perfectly substantial for a horror movie. If you're really going to horror movies for scares, and you're going to horror movies for probably blood and gore. I didn't get scared in this one. I didn't jump or anything. I mean, that's not true. I did jump when that whistle blew because it was blowing my eardrum out. But not because it was scary, just because it was painful. But yeah, let me get a rating here so we can move on to the next movie. You know what? I'm gonna give it a solid 7. Like it's definitely an enjoyable movie for me. I wasn't expecting much out of it, and why am I like holding my side like this? I don't know. I'm a little teapot. Yeah, it was an enjoyable thing, and I feel like it would have been really, since I have no friends, it would have been probably pretty neat to watch with people, because like the kills are just so like fun and just craziness, and that's the kind of stuff that you want to see with other people, because it's like, oh, did you see that? There's one that I really, really like. I won't spoil it, but I was so curious how they were going to show this person's death, and they did not disappoint with it. It's very creative, and you know me, I love my creative things. I really do. So that is Whistle While You Work. 7 out of 10 from dear old Gremlin Lord. If anybody else has seen it, feel free to tell me what you thought about it. And we're going to get ready to move on to the next film here. It's only sitting at a 5.8 on IMDb. Whistle, some interesting ideas. They give it a 2. Has some ideas, but doesn't work in the end. It worked in the end. I thought it worked in the end. It's a little tropey, but I mean, like I said, it's a fun time. I know fun is a negative word for a lot of movie reviewers because something being fun means it's not good, but I had fun with it. I don't think fun is a negative word. I think fun is a perfectly sufficient word to describe your experience in movies. Although it was crazy seeing Percy Hines White as this ruthlessly nasty youth pastor drug dealer. Like, he is like attacking people in the movie. He's very violent, and I'm just like, I mean, I've only seen him in one thing, so it's a little weird. It's the complete opposite of the one thing I see him in. But anyway, so what movie should we do next? We have Iron Lung, Send Help, and Nirvana, the show, the band, the show, the movie. Any suggestions, audience? The Nirvana one. I feel really bad about this one. The more and more I talk about it and I think about it, I feel bad because please act out a skit. I don't have any skits for this because I keep seeing these reviews for it. Ooh, Jesus. Is Jesus hot? Hey, we're talking about ripped Jesus, right? I need the Jesus with that rockin' body. He's wearing that loincloth. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, where is it? So Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie was the Regal mystery movie on Monday. So that's why it's included here. I saw it on Monday as a mystery movie. Didn't know what it was going to be. So I went to go see it, and that's what it was. Yeah, Lil Lando. Don't forget Lil Lando. Although if you're underage, Lil Lando, don't subscribe. You can still like the video, though. Although I guess my content isn't necessarily for adults only, but we do talk about scary movies. Okay? You seem like you get scared by a lot of things. So this movie is based on a TV show, which was from 2007 to 2010, and then it had a revival in like 2016 and 2017. It's two guys, two Canadians, named Matt Johnson and Jay McCarroll. Delete your channel. Don't tell Lil Lando to delete his channel, Andrea. Jeez, don't be rude. Lil Lando, you keep your channel, okay? You keep your channel. Andrea, you gotta calm down, okay? We're all just having a good time here, talking about movies. Now, I have never seen or heard of the show before. Nirvana, the band, the show. I've never heard of it. Like, in any shape, way, or form. I've asked a couple people, and surprisingly, they knew about it. I had one friend who said they love it, that it's one of their favorite things they've ever seen. And I thought it was really interesting, because I was like, where have I been? I've never heard of this before. But somehow they really love it. So I was like, okay, well, and I like that person. That person and I have like a similar sense of humor. It was T1BG. So I was like, you know what? T1BG likes it. I may like it. Okay? I watched the trailer. I felt nothing. I didn't laugh at the trailer. I didn't think there was anything funny in the trailer. Like, at all. There was like one part that made me go, huh. Because he talks about they're skydiving into the Sky Dome and they should give peace signs so people don't think it's a terrorist attack. Like, that's a little chuckly. But the rest of it was just like, the rest of this just seems like a mix of like Impractical Jokers and like Borat type of stuff where they go in the public and they're doing their skits and their characters, and then you're flown in the middle of the ocean. Well, thank goodness you got service to be here to watch us. Thanks, Tuna Juice. Don't forget to subscribe, Tuna. And they like yell at people on the streets, or they go talk to people on the streets, and then they film the reactions type of situation. And that's not my favorite comedy style. Like I don't watch Impractical Jokers or anything like that. But it was a very big thing in the early 2000s and mid 2000s. Like I said, Bruno, Borat, that kind of stuff, or like Jackass, you know, where they do things in public and people go, "Oh my god," and that's the reaction stuff. Oh, let's read the description for the movie. When their plan to book a show at the Rivioli goes horribly wrong, Matt and Jay accidentally travel back to the year 2008. It can be funny. I thought Borat was funny, and I thought Bruno was hilarious. Obviously, there's scripting involved with it. You know, it's not all, you know, unscripted stuff, but it is scripted. But yeah. So basically, you have these two guys who have been trying for 17 years to get a show at this restaurant club, the Rivioli. And I looked, and apparently that's what they're always doing in their show. They're always trying to get a gig at this place. And I guess they make music and do little acts. It's not really described. Like the one guy plays the piano, Jay plays the piano, and then Matt is like doing weird song and dance stuff. So I guess that's their shtick. And although anyway, this movie comes out February 13th, which isn't even out yet. It's tomorrow. Rated R, hour 35 minutes. And at this point, Jay is sick of it, and he wants to move on. Like he doesn't want to keep trying and failing after this. So for me, as somebody who doesn't know anything about these characters, the movie starts and Jay is super like disgusted with his life and with this friendship. And to me, he seems like somebody who doesn't like this Matt character. And I know that's not the case. I know the whole show is them being best friends. But the way it's framed in this, and what sets everything in motion, is that he wants to branch out on his own, and he wants to try to find something, because obviously what they've been doing for the past 17 years isn't working for them. So he wants to branch out. So he goes behind his friend's back to do that. And of course, you know, their paths keep crossing, and he can't really get his plan to go behind his back and all that. There's a lot of Back to the Future references, which I haven't actually seen all of Back to the Future because I found it boring as a kid. So I never even attempted to rewatch it. But there's a lot of, I know enough about Back to the Future to understand all the references they're doing, you know, like Great Scott and the flux capacitor and, you know, all that stuff. I get all of the stuff they're talking about, but it's not as funny to me because I don't actually care about Back to the Future. And there was a lot of Back to the Future references. Even like the visuals of them going back in time and hitting 88 miles per hour is Back to the Future stuff. So it's a lot. Although they do power their vehicle with Orbits, which is a soft drink juice from like the 90s that has these little balls in it. That's what I said. I said this movie is definitely for people who love the show. But I've been seeing all kinds of reviews, and people have commented on my shorts, you know, that they've never heard of the show, but they thought the movie was hilarious. And it's like, I get why you would think the movie's hilarious, but I just couldn't get it. It just didn't like scratch my funny bone. And I feel like it should. I honestly feel like it's something I should like. And I just couldn't get into it. There was even a line. So obviously when you go back in time in movies, you're not supposed to touch anything because you can set off a butterfly effect of stuff, right? Like in Back to the Future when Biff gets the almanac and he becomes a millionaire and all that. So there's like that, and they're like going to their location, and he says, "Don't touch anything but the orbits. And he's like, yeah, and then he says, it's like Aladdin, you know, don't touch anything but the lamp. And I was like, and that made me laugh because it's like, that's something I would say. If you were to say that to me, the first thing I would think of is that line from Aladdin, and I would have said that. And I was like, see, that's me. That's my humor. So why don't I like the rest of this movie? That was one of the few times where I chuckled, because that's something that I would have wrote that line. And I don't know. It felt like there were a lot of callbacks to the TV show, even though I'd never seen the TV show. Like every shtick that they did felt like something that you should have already known. Even though you can watch it and still enjoy it, it was just like, it just felt like something that they're used to doing. Like whenever they talk about something that happened in the past, it would go black and white, and they would talk in slow motion all the time. And then they would say lines that they didn't say originally in that scene, because they were flashing back to previous parts of the movie and they were saying other lines. And they did that like 12 to 15 times in this movie. I'm like, this has to be a shtick that they do in the show, because they do it so much. It's like constant. And it was like interesting the first few times, but then it was just kind of like, oh, here we go. Like it felt like a way for them to get over like a plot hole kind of thing. Like, wait, how did that happen? Oh yeah, you gotta do this. And it's like, oh, okay, they already knew how to do it because they said it in the past, kind of thing. I just found it a little annoying. But there's a lot of goofy stuff in it. Again, things that I would think I would enjoy. Like they climb like the Canadian network tower thing. And because you could do like a skywalk on it in real life. And they end up cutting their harness. I think it's in a trailer. They cut their harnesses and they jump off. And it's like, what? And obviously that part is all scripted and not real. Anything with the police is obviously not real. And to be honest, my audience didn't think it was super funny either. There was that one guy, I keep mentioning that one guy. There was one guy just clapping and just squealing with happiness. And I felt really happy for that guy. Because he's always at these Regal Mystery movies. But he was loving it. Just having a gay old time. He's like, ah, yeah! And I'm just like, okay, my man, okay. And then otherwise, it was like these three girls who were giggling, and then a couple little chuckles here and there. Like I let out a couple chuckles, but other than that, they were full like 15, 20-minute sections of just dead silence. Yeah, at least someone had fun, which is fine. I just wish I'd had fun with it, you know? I really wish I had some fun with it. But it's not all doom and gloom, you know? So what they did in this movie, since they travel back to 2008, they make an excuse for why the rest of the film looks like 2008, right? They have their cameramen who were kind of meta. So these cameramen are part of the movie. Like they mention the cameramen in the movie by their names, and they make them switch to 2008 cameras. Because the cameramen are always everywhere, right? So you'll see from like 3 blocks away, the guy's getting out of the vehicle. It's like, how's the cameraman catching that? They don't explain that. But they do show the cameraman climbing up the tower with them, and he'll talk to the guy, the cameraman, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Like, they're part of the film. But they did a really good job, because the show was in 2007 to 2010. So they actually splice in footage from the show, because obviously they time traveled, so they actually see their younger selves, like clips from their show. So they go back to their original apartment, which they had to recreate, because apparently the person who owns the apartment now does not like them. but they see their younger selves in their old apartment, and they end up crossing paths at one point, and they don't talk to themselves, they talk to the other person. So Matt talks to Jay's younger version, and Jay talks to Matt's younger version. Oh yeah, because I mean, I'm sure they probably even picked up on stuff, because it's like, and they work the conversations together. So like young Jay would be like, "Hey Matt, you want to practice this song?" And then older Matt's like, yeah, sure," you know? Because, you know, obviously they look older because it's been 17 years. Like, they physically look older, as we all do. But it worked really, really well. And I think it meshed super nicely. And there were a couple times where they were together in a scene, and it looked really good. Like, it didn't look out of place. It was very, like, Forrest Gump, where they put him in all those footage, like the old footage and stuff. It worked really, really well. And I was actually impressed with that. Another reason why I was disappointed I didn't like the film, I was like, this is really well made. This is nicely made film. And the score is good. I really like the score. It has like this bizarrely epic sounding score, which doesn't match, obviously, the goofy things that are happening in the movie, which is part of the joke. But it sounded really nice, and I really did like it. But yeah, some bits definitely went on too long. There's a whole section, kind of like how in Family Guy, when Peter's like, you know, like that for 5 minutes. That happens in this movie too. One of the guys hurts his butt, and he's like, "Oh, my ass. I hurt my ass. My ass is hurt. The thing that's hurt is my ass." And it just goes on for like 30 seconds. And I'm like, look, I get it, but can we move on from this bit? Can we move on from this bit? I'm begging you. No, they didn't eat any hot dogs in the movie, Florida Man. They didn't eat any hot dogs in this movie. Wait, did they eat hot dogs in the movie? No. No, they didn't eat any hot dogs. Let's see. There's the line with that. Honestly, I didn't care for the characters. I think that's probably why I didn't enjoy the movie. So, like, the Jay McCarroll character, he is doing everything he can to get away from this person who was his best friend. Like, he ditches him multiple times. He tries to ditch him multiple times. He tries to leave him in a different time-space continuum. Like, that to me doesn't scream, "You're my best friend and we're having a disagreement." That screams, "I hate you." Like, if you're trying to leave somebody in a different time-space continuum, that doesn't feel like you care about that person. Because, you know, there's a heartfelt reunion, as of course there is, it's cheesy. And because he realizes it's his best friend. And it's like, is he though? Because you were willing to leave him in a different timeline. Like, where his life is terrible. You were ready to leave him there because your life was better. And I'm just like, I don't understand how these guys are friends. And then the Matt character, he was just super loud, super obnoxious, always screaming something, talking over people, completely disregarding other people's feelings and other people's input. You know, so like neither character was really like likable to me. And I'm like, why should I care about these guys if they ever get back to their timeline? Because they obviously don't even like each other. So when the resolution came, when they had that heartfelt, like, "You are my best friend," you know, and they work together to fix everything, it's like, do you actually care though? Do you actually care? Because you just spent the last hour and 20 minutes not liking each other. It's such a weird thing. There was one scene that did surprise me. Like, I know it's rated R, obviously, because of cursing and all that, and dangerous stunts. But somebody gets killed, and I wasn't expecting that person to get killed. It was very like all of a sudden, like, I guess you would say it's Beavis and Butthead, but again, see, I don't know if that's the dynamic they have in the TV show, because I've never seen the TV show. I've seen clips of the TV show because YouTube's like, oh, you like this? Nirvana, the band, the show? And I'm like, I posted one short about this movie, and now my YouTube feed is nothing but this movie. And it's like, please, please. I watched a couple to see if I could get some chuckles. None so far, but oh, I know. I have to keep saying not interested, not interested. And I'm even getting on my TikToks now. And it's just like, oh, I don't know these people. If it, I didn't see it was available on any streaming, or else I would probably look it up. I mean, it might be just on YouTube. So I could probably look it up on there. I just couldn't get into it. And I've seen so many glowing reviews for this. How it's the funniest movie of the year, and you know, an unexpected gem. I can't believe how good this movie was. Like all of these crazy loving reviews. And I get how you could. I just really just wish I liked it more. I was really just sitting there waiting for something to just get me and make me chuckle and make me just kind of be like, that's funny. And it just never happened. I couldn't. And I don't know, it makes me so disappointed because I really wanted to like it once I heard like how T1BG was excited for it. I really wanted to like it. I just couldn't get into it. So, I don't know. So for a rating for Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Like I said, and it's really well made. I like the splicing of the old footage and the new footage. I like the score of it is kind of crazy. I don't know if they do any like Back to the Future riffs or not, because I know that's copyrighted, but they mention copyrights for Back to the Future, so. But I just couldn't get into these characters that they're playing and the little bits and the shticks that they do that seem really repetitive. And I genuinely didn't enjoy watching it. That's really it. Like I sat there just waiting for the movie to end. Not because I hated it, but because I just wasn't having a good time. Like I just wasn't enjoying watching it. It felt like I was watching something that somebody else picked out, and you know, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna love this," and I'm like, I'm not loving it. So, I think I'm gonna give it between a 3.5 and a 4 out of 10. And I know that's really low, but I genuinely didn't enjoy myself. I can't believe it. And like nobody really said anything when we were leaving the theaters. I was waiting for people to like, you know, say like, "Oh, that was stupid," or "Oh, that was great." Like nobody really said anything except for that one guy, that guy down there who was squealing with pleasure. His friends didn't really say much about the movie, but he loved it. Hello, silly little person. It is low. It is low. And that's why I was thinking more of a 4, but like, I don't want to give him a pity score. You know, I don't want to give the movie a pity score. But when I think about, did I enjoy the movie? The answer is no. I did not enjoy it. Like, would I watch it again on purpose? No. Would I buy it on physical? If it's really cheap, sure. Like if it's in the bargain bin at Walmart, I'd probably buy it. But I would really need to watch, or at least attempt to watch the TV show to understand what's going on in this movie more. And it might not even change my opinion of it, you know? Because some of their skits kind of remind me of Tim and Eric. And Tim and Eric I do think is funny sometimes, but other times I don't think it's funny. So it's like, I think it's very subjective, this type of humor, and it feels dated in that sense. Even though it's from my youth, it does feel like it may not translate to today's type of comedy. Even though I go back and listen and watch stuff that I enjoyed as a teen and stuff, but like this, like Dumb and Dumber, this cracks me up. Like, you know what I mean? So I just couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get into Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. So 3.5 for that general area is what I feel for this movie. I really want T1BG to watch it. I really hope he watches it. I even told him it was a mystery movie, so maybe he could go watch it. Because I want his opinion on it. I want to know how he feels about it. If he feels that it's a good representation of the show, or if it's not a good representation of the show. Because if it is, then that means I may not like the show. But if he feels like it's not a good representation of the show, then it's possible I might like the show. So I'm going to have to try to get him to see it. I mean, he said he really liked it, so I'm going to try to convince him to go to the movies when it comes out. Like, hey, buddy, I want your opinion. And if you guys like the movie, let me know if you liked it. Tell me in the comments or in the chat, you know. I would love to know what you liked about it. Don't be like that guy who said on my short that I didn't get it. It's not about getting the jokes. It's about enjoying the jokes. I got the jokes. I just didn't enjoy them. Okay? Big difference. Big difference. You don't get it. It's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be absurd. And it's like, I don't think, you keep using that word, I don't think you know what that word means. But there we go. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. That title is so ridiculous, by the way, as well. The fact that their band is called Nirvana, the band, and then Nirvana, the band, the show was the name of the show. So it's clever. It keeps with their branding. The movie, the movie. So what should be our next movie? We got Send Help and we have Iron Lung. We're going back to the horror films here. Iron Lung. Send Help. Send Help was another good one. I like Send Help. Where is IMDb? There you are. Like these reviews, like there are 19 reviews. The vast majority of reviews for Nirvana are 10s and 9s. Crazy. Crazy. It's not out yet. I want to see, are there any negative, unfunny fan fiction? The first 30 minutes is absolutely cringe mashup of unlikable people, stupid, unfunny ideas, and camera work where there was a lot of shaky cam in the beginning, which I did not enjoy. Huge steaming pile of... Wow. Brazilian and French women. I don't get that joke. There are only 2 non-annoying characters, the Brazilian and the French woman. The random people on the streets. Mind-numbingly dumb, lowbrow, scripted reality show slop. Worst movie in years. I should have left. It's so bad I actually left. I left the theater after 20 minutes. 2 hours, I'll never get back. And then the next one, film of the year. 10 out of 10. See what I mean? It's very odd. Anyway, Send Help. Send Help is Sam Raimi's new film, guys. We like a good Sam Raimi film, don't we? It came out January 30th. It's rated R, and it's 1 hour and 53 minutes. An employee and her insufferable boss become stranded on a deserted island, the only survivors of a plane crash. Here, they must overcome past grievances and work together to make it out alive. What's rated R? Send Help? Send Help's rated R for blood, gore, violence. Like, Send Help is very aptly rated R. Even some nudity. The other movie was also rated R. All these movies are rated R. Every movie tonight is rated R. So obviously Send Help stars Rachel McAdams. Who, Dylan O'Brien? I know. A rat's ass? There is a rat's ass in this movie. You are correct. So you've seen the movie Terrible. Good, good, good. Make sure you tell me how you felt about the movie in the chat there. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video as well. Thanks. So Rachel McAdams, you know, Mean Girls, we know who she is. She's also in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, right? Which was also directed by Sam Raimi. He wanted her in this movie because he liked working with her in Doctor Strange, even though she's barely in it, I feel like. No, she is in it because she's like the alternate version of her, right? And that when they fight with music notes or whatever. Yeah. And then Dylan O'Brien is her boss. He is the son of the previous owner of the company who dies. We don't actually see him, but we do see a painting of him. I don't remember seeing the painting of him, but apparently the painting of him is Bruce Campbell. Because if you know anything about Sam Raimi, him and Bruce Campbell are BFFs, and Bruce Campbell almost always has a cameo of some sort in his movies. So his cameo in this movie was being in the painting of the previous company CEO. They didn't really show it though. I think it's in the background because I did not see it. I would recognize Bruce Campbell. Now, I saw this in 3D on accident because I literally only looked at the movie showtimes. I didn't know it even came in 3D. So I went to buy my ticket, and I saw that the showtime wasn't there. And I was like, there's only 3 showtimes. The one should be for the one I need, 1:15. So I backed out, and I saw that there was another Send Help. And I clicked it, and I was like, oh, it's 3D. Now I'm going to have to spend money. I had to spend $3.53 or 73 cents, something like that. $3.73. I'm like, damn it. Yeah, turn it to my movie fund. But you know what? The 3D, it added some stuff to it. It did add stuff to it. Do I think it's necessary? Probably not. But if you know Sam Raimi, he likes to do these tracking shots where like things come at you, or you're in the point of view of something, like in Evil Dead, you're in the point of view of the entity like coming through the forest. So in this one, you're the point of view of like a wild boar. So there are things that come out at you and stuff like that. So it looks like he had a little fun with the 3D stuff. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I didn't think it would be a 3D movie either. Like Avatar, yes, of course, 3D. This movie, really? Why? I mean, a lot of it is just kind of things, foreground, background stuff, right? It just kind of adds depth to stuff. To the point where you notice it, and it's immersive, but it's not necessarily something that's like world building, right? Because we're on a deserted island and there's leaves. That's mostly what you see are leaves. So it's not like I said, it's not like Avatar where there's vines and creatures and things floating and all that action sequences and stuff. So it's really just about having the characters popping out from the backgrounds. And it looks fine. Like, I wasn't disappointed with it. Just wasn't expecting it. That's all. But yeah, this is another Dylan O'Brien movie. We saw, what? Twinless, we saw him in. He was naked in that. And he was in that movie where he was tied to the bed. I don't remember the title for that one. That's another Regal Mystery movie. Anybody else in this movie? What lipstick do I use? I only have one lipstick that I usually use for my videos and my skits where I play a lady. And it's some red one I got from like Rite Aid like 15 years ago. It's super old. It's very red. So, I mean, I'm not wearing it right now, but obviously because I'm not doing any characters at the moment. Let's see. Anyway, so you have Rachel McAdams, who plays Linda Little, and she's kind of this dowdy, very smart and very good at her job of strategic, what is it? It's the tagline of the movie, strategy and planning. And she, she's a numbers person. She's always getting these things done. She was like next in line to become the president of her section and all that. But she gets passed up because Dylan O'Brien becomes the CEO and he wants to give it to his dude bro from college. Right? And they're very like douchey, red pill kind of guys. And I mean, you can see that in the trailer where he's like, I just don't see any worth in you, when he's said that directly to her, which obviously is an HR nightmare of a statement. But he's not a good guy. So they go on this plane trip. She takes her because it's like her, prove yourself to me kind of thing, even though he's not really going to change his mind about who he made the president. What's up, Bentley? We're talking about Send Help, Sam Raimi's new movie. And obviously the plane crashes. They both survive. He's injured. She's not injured. And she starts to take care of him. But this is like the thing that she loves. Like she loves like survival stuff. And it's very much her element. In fact, she goes from this dowdy, sullen looking woman to this like fresh-faced beauty queen, like they try to make her look really unattractive in the office, giving her like more bags on her eyes, and she's wearing these ugly chunky sweaters that have all those little balls on it, like, they try to make her look really bad. But then once she's at the island, she's like, her normal self, because Rachel McAdams is really pretty, but she's like and she just gets so into the whole survival aspect of the thing. And she does a great job. Rachel McAdams does a great job playing that kind of feckless, like weak character in The Office. People walk all over her. She just kind of crashes out about it in her car. But when she's on that island, she becomes this whole other person. She becomes super confident, super powerful. I think in the trailer they show her like hunting and she goes, I think I like hunting. And her face is like covered in blood. Got you back to number 1. Oh my God, you were number 3? What happened? How did somebody beat you? You were number 1 when we started, weren't you? Wow. How unfortunate for you. I don't know what to tell you there, Slick. It sounds like the girls from Yellow Jacket. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen Yellow Jacket. I don't have pay channels like that, sir. Remember, I'm poor. God. Just flaunting your wealth here. I see it. I get it. I know you're rich. You can afford all these great pay channels, okay? Jeez. I'm sitting here wearing wired headphones. Anyway. Yeah, she's fantastic, though. She is really good, and I really liked it. On an Island, is her name in the files? I mean, I don't know. Other actors' names are in the files, like Mark Ruffalo's name is in the files, but you know why his name in the files? Because he spoke out against the genocide in Gaza. So, for some reason, there's a list of actors and celebrities in the files, and they spoke out against Gaza. Not sure why that's in the Epstein files, but hey. But this movie really felt like Sam Raimi was allowed to become his Sam Raimi self. It has tons of blood. There's like gross out stuff in it. There's, like I said, the tracking shots. There's like these point of view shots where they like put you into the action and stuff. It's very much Sam Raimi stuff, and it felt really good. It felt really good. But the Rachel McAdams character. she actually likes Dylan O'Brien's character for a bit. And Dylan O'Brien is 34 years old. Okay? I didn't realize he was that old. I looked it up last night. I didn't realize he was that old. He does have a fully nude scene from behind in this movie. So, my second movie of seeing Dylan O'Brien's butt cheeks in a movie. So, thank you for that, Dylan O'Brien. He looks great. He's a good looking guy. He's a good looking guy. From behind and from the front. You know what's funny? I am going to give it a good score. But it wasn't because of that. Hey, you got to see him in 3D. Like, they show like a far shot of him, like, you know, I guess this would be the far shot of him like naked. And I was like, can I see a little bit closer? And then right after that, we saw a little bit closer. You got to see he has a really nice like curvature on his derriere there. I mean, he must work out. He must do some squats. You know, not to objectify him. Obviously, I'm just commenting on the film. You know, it's pertinent to the plot of the film. You know, that he's attractive because Laura Little is interested in him, so it's very important that he looks attractive. Okay? Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. So, but even his character, he's good in this movie too, because he goes through like he starts out as that obnoxious CEO guy, and then he still stays in that when he's on the island, and he realizes he can't do some of these things, and he needs help, and he kind of becomes not subservient, but he becomes a bit more following her lead because she's like a survival chick, and he kind of has his own little evolution there. I really like the survivor aspects of the movie. They actually hired a survival expert who taught them how to survive. Like, they actually look like people who are trying to survive on an island. You know, it wasn't done in an artificial way. It was gradual. Because like I said, she ended up looking really beautiful, because that was like the shtick, was that she's flourishing under these conditions. And he gradually looks worse. So, get a little sunburn, his lips are chapped, like that kind of stuff. And he kind of gets looking worse and worse until she starts to and when she's not taking care of him, he gets even worse. But when she's helping him, he looks better. So it's like little details like that you may miss if you're not paying as much attention. There's good twists and turns. Is it all original? No. I mean, it's a mixture of like Misery and like Castaway. People say Lost. I haven't seen Lost. Some people did even say Yellow Jackets. I have not seen Yellow Jackets, so. There is a lot of gross out stuff. If you've seen the movie Drag Me to Hell by Sam Raimi, this has things like that in it. I don't know what I was expecting. Obviously, I knew it was Sam Raimi, and I knew it's rated R, and I knew it was going to be blood and gore. I just wasn't Oh, I liked Drag Me to Hell. We watched that one in theaters. While I was watching this, I kept thinking of my friend who I saw Drag Me to Hell with. I even texted her about it today. And I was like, you should go see this movie because it reminded me of you the whole time I was watching it. Because we saw that together and we had a great time. And it would have been fantastic to see this with her. I don't think she's going to want to go see it because she's really busy. But it's definitely something I feel like she and I would be cracking up in the theaters watching. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed it. I did jump once. Why did I jump? What made me jump? Was it the boar? I don't know. But there is quite a bit of violence in there. Like, that plane crash is pretty violent. And of course, with Sam Raimi stuff, somebody gets sucked out of the plane, but they're they're hooked by like their suspenders or something, which doesn't make any sense because your suspenders are just clipped to your pants, so that wouldn't make any sense. But you know, in the movie world, he was hanging from his suspenders, smashing his face up against the window. She just puts down the curtain or put down the blind. So it has things like that are really funny. The score is done by Danny Elfman, another Danny Elfman score. You know, Dracula had a Danny Elfman score. This has a Danny Elfman score, which was very surprising. This was less Elfman-like than Dracula. I don't know if you heard that. My ice cube just like popped. You could hear it. I just heard it in the replay. Wow, that's crazy. That was the ice cube popping. Anyway, yeah, that was the ice cube. My cup's been sitting here for over 70 minutes, and the ice cube's like. But yeah, so Danny Elfman did the score. The score is fine. It has like a sometimes tropical vibe, but also kind of like a retro vibe. It's kind of hard to describe. Like a retro 80s Miami Vice type of vibe sometimes. But yeah, I did have problems with it though, okay? There are some pacing issues. I mean, everything in the beginning when they're in the office, they go on the plane crashes, or on the island, you know, that all flows really nicely for me and helps build up these characters and who they are. But there are times on the island that it feels like nothing is happening. And obviously, when you're on a deserted island, there are going to be times where nothing is happening. I get it, right? I get it. But this is a movie, not real life. I think there's a way to show passage of time that isn't as boring. It's not a lot of times that it's boring, but there's a few times where I'm just kind of like, are we going to move on from this anytime soon? Because whenever they show like Rachel doing crafts or like, you know, building her stuff or making her hat and weaving a basket, like that's all very interesting, and I really liked all of that stuff. So to me, like, that's great, and I loved all of that. There were just certain times where the shots were just lingering way too long on something, and it's like, am I supposed to be seeing something in this scene? Like, I'm scanning and scanning, I don't see anything going on, and it's very slow in those moments. Even there's the section where they're having like an intimate conversation around a campfire one night. It's a super slow scene for them to be sharing these like stories with each other. Like, she's telling her story and it's like, please, like, can you spit it out just a little bit faster, just a little bit faster? Like, the movie's already slowed down because we're here relaxing around the fire, right? So we already fine. We're slowed down. So let's just keep it moving. But then there was like, there's just way too much talking, but like slow talking. Like, she would say a line and then say a line and say, like, you know, it was just too many pregnant pauses, if you will. I didn't emphasize the word pregnant for any reason. It means nothing. I feel like I emphasized that. But I'll be honest, I enjoyed it. I wasn't the only one in the theater either. You know who was in that theater? That Spanish couple. There's a Spanish couple who has been in these horror movies with me on multiple occasions. They were with me when I saw Heart Eyes because they were sitting in my seats and I didn't say anything, but they've been in my movies like twice a year. I'll see them, and it's completely random, but it's almost always a horror movie, and it's this guy and this woman, and they're there, and I'm just like, it's just strange because we just happened to be at the movie at the same time. Although the man did take a telephone call within the first 10 minutes of the movie. and he's on the phone, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I hear them talking to each other and like giggling at the movie and everything, so they're having a good time. But I was just like, why are you on the phone? It was a very short phone call, but I was just like, you shouldn't be answering your phone, my man. Take it outside. It wasn't a bigger theater, because usually 3D movies need the bigger theaters. But it was just super funny to see them again. And I wonder if they recognize me and they're like, oof, there's that long-haired gringo. Oof, that weirdo. All right. Send help. Rating, please. So like I said, I did enjoy it. I felt like it was back to Sam Raimi-isms, that it's that kind of kitschy horror that I was longing for. You know, not super straightforward, kind of goofy, got some gross out stuff in there. Closest I ever came to that. I was hit by a car before. That was pretty close. My life did flash before my eyes when I almost got hit by that car. Yeah? That's probably the closest. But a rating for Send Help. I am lingering around a 7.5 to 8. You are hot and handsome. Thanks, Cucamonga. My first car? No. I almost got hit by a car. I wasn't driving a car. I almost got hit by a car. I think I'm going to go with 8 for Send Help. I think I'm going to go with 8 because I really did enjoy it. I liked the comedy and the horror. I love a good comedy horror. I do enjoy Sam Raimi films in general, though. If you don't like Sam Raimi, you're probably not going to like this movie. Because like I said, there is gross out stuff in there. There is a naked Dylan O'Brien, so also good. First car, Volkswagen Jetta. Yeah, Volkswagen Jetta. It was a 92? 91? No. Was the Camry a 92? I think the Camry was a 92. I'm not sure about the Jetta. Yeah, like and subscribe, picklehead. So yeah, Send Help. Sam Raimi, rated R, in theaters right now. Sam Raimi directed, obviously. Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien. 8 out of 10. I would highly recommend it. And that brings us to our final movie of the evening and of the live. Iron Lung. Which is written, directed, and starring a fellow YouTuber, a little known guy, you may have heard of him. He goes by Markiplier. Colonize Mars? No. Because knowing if we colonize Mars, that fascist Elon Musk will probably be there, so he can go colonize Mars. Ding 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 ding. Nice. Thanks, Prince. Would I go to space? That's a weird question. These are really weird questions. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to space? But unfortunately, all the space stuff now are all handled by billionaires who are looking for the world to be destroyed. So we're going to talk about Iron Lung, which released also January 30th, same day as Send Help. Wait, did it same day as Send Help? Yeah, same day as Send Help. It is rated R. It is 2 hours and 5 minutes. Mike Tyson. You know what? I would fight Mike Tyson in his prime. I would just roll on the ground and give up and then collect my $1 million. Thanks. I like how T-Dubs is having this full-blown word salad conversation by themselves. Keep posting all those things, T-Dubs. Keep posting. It really helps my channel and helps the live get out to more people. So just keep talking amongst yourselves. It's not woke. I mean, every movie's woke, of course. I would say Send Help is woke because Dylan O'Brien's character starts out as Red Pill Dude Bro, and he becomes not Red Pill Dude Bro by the end because he learns humility and he learns what it's like to have empathy for others. So, it actually is very woke. But correct, it is a good movie though. So Iron Lung, in a post-apocalyptic future, after the Quiet Rapture event, a convict explores a blood ocean on a desolate moon using a submarine called the Iron Lung to search for missing stars. Or he's not searching for missing stars or planets. Who wrote that description? That makes no sense. It's like mostly right. Oh, this is better. Set in a post-apocalyptic future where an event known as a Quiet Rapture calls all known stars and habitable planets in the universe to disappear, a convict is sent to search an ocean of blood discovered on a desolate moon using a small submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung. So this is what you would call a bottle movie. The same way that sitcoms have bottle episodes where the characters will never leave one location. This is what that is. So Markiplier's character is always inside of the submarine. Are you asking me, have I ever seen The Running Man? Yes. If you go on my channel right now, I literally reviewed The Running Man, 1987, 2 weeks ago, for the first time. I just watched it. It was okay. That's another woke movie, by the way. But yeah, it's literally on my channel right now. It's like 2 videos behind. I know. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So this whole movie takes place inside of this Iron Lung submarine set. The only time you see outside of it, there is like a porthole in the front that it can only be opened when he's not submerged because the pressure in the blood ocean is too much and the glass is not tempered glass. Because at this point they're scavenging, to create these submarines. So this is the only glass they could get. So he uses it to look out at the technicians who are telling him his mission, kind of thing. So he's looking out at that. But otherwise, he has to have it closed when he's in the actual blood ocean. And the way that he moves, so he has a bit of a sonar thing that tells him if something's in front of him, so he knows not to crash into it. He has his map, which is on paper. Okay, it's all very low tech because, again, this is like end of world stuff and they're barely surviving. And he has this X-ray machine. So he has to get up out of his chair and go push this button. And it creates, on this huge TV, it creates an X-ray of what he's seeing in the front of his ship. Because you can't use a camera because the blood is so thick. It has to be an X-ray that can see through the blood. Well, thanks, Jebediah. Don't forget to like the live and subscribe to the channel. And that Running, like I said, that Running Man review is there if you want to watch it. So obviously, like I said, Markiplier wrote, directed, and stars in this. It is based on a video game called Iron Lung as well, which explains why the button to do the X-rays is back behind him. Because if he's here at his control panel, controlling the ship, it's a horror game, so you're gonna want your character to get up and go do something so you can spook them, right? And it's a really cool horror element to have this X-ray thing. Like, he's waiting to see what's gonna pop up on this TV, and we are waiting to see what's gonna pop up on this TV. So you don't know what's gonna be there. Is it gonna be just like a structure? Is it gonna be some rocks? Is it gonna be a creature? What is he going to see on this X-ray screen? And we're right there with him. This movie does a really good job of putting you in that submarine with him, and it feels claustrophobic. So if you have issues with being in enclosed spaces, this movie may not be for you, because it's very much, he's in this submarine and it's very tight. And they do a good job of making it feel tight, He even goes in a crawl space underneath the main floor of the tunnel. Super tight. Super tight. Let's see. There is horror game elements, I already said that. There is limited oxygen. He has an oxygen meter here on the side of the screen, but it's just like squares. It's like 4 lights. And when he talks about it, he's like, I lost a light. I never watched Markiplier. I know who Markiplier is simply because of the weight of his fame. You know, I've seen him in things. I've seen his like videos on TikTok sometimes. But I never actually watched his content because actually I don't watch a lot of YouTube content. So I mean, obviously I know who he is. And I think this movie, you know, this is like his passion project, and he helped fund this movie, and it got released, and it was supposed to release in like 60 theaters, and then because of the demand for so many tickets, it ended up blowing up into a whole bunch of other theaters, including big names like Regal and Cinemark and all that. And it's made 12 times its budget back already. It has a budget of about $3 million, and it's already made over $36 million, which is phenomenal. And people are like, yeah, stick it to Hollywood. I'm like, it's still a Hollywood movie. Like, it still was released by a company. You know what I mean, right? I don't know. It's all silly stuff like that. There's great use of, I'm just like jumping around here a bunch. The X-ray panel we talked about, it created a lot of tension with the lighting because at one point it was the only source of light, so you had to keep hitting the X-ray thing, and you keep getting these flashes of images, and it creates this sense of tension, and you're always like, is something gonna be behind him? Is something gonna be behind him? Even though he's on the submarine alone. If any of you played the video game Soma, it's kind of like that type of psychological thing where, you know, you're doing the task you're supposed to be doing, but you hear voices. This movie has a lot of like surround sound voices. Like, I'm in the theater and I had to keep looking because it literally sounded like people having a conversation like 3 seats away from me. And I'm like, you shut up, but there's no one there. Because it's just what the movie, because he's, you know, he's secluded in this machine by himself, and he has no communication with anyone when he's deep in this blood ocean. So he's like hearing things, but I'm hearing things because it's ambient noises. You hear the creaks and the wails of the, you know, like the liquid and the ship and stuff, but you also hear like these whispery conversations, and it's just, it was kind of unsettling because it really did sound like it was coming up from somebody next to me. You know what? Markiplier was actually really good in this role. Like I said, I don't watch him, so I don't know if he does skits or if he does any type of acting on his channel. I feel like I know he does video games, but he also does like challenges or something. I honestly don't know. I've seen him do like challenge thingies, and I've seen him play video games and clips, so I don't actually know what his main channel stuff is. But he acted really well in this. Not perfect, but he was much better than I thought he was going to be, because it's really easy to overact, especially in dramatic and horror type of roles. You know, when you're just screaming at something and you're like, ah, stop it! You know, because you're supposed to be angry. It can be hard to find that genuine emotion in there. I mean, not that I'm a professional actor, but I do a little bit of acting on my channel. Thank you very much. Though mostly I do comedy acting because I feel like I'm not great at finding that seriousness. I can cry on cue though, usually. So, how about that? But no, I thought he did really well. There was a couple moments where it was a little cheesy. He found this token thing, and he was just like a very anime looking motion where he's like grasping it and staring off in a distance, and it's like, okay. And there were definitely towards the end where he's like really angry. He's like screaming, but his jaw is completely clenched. And he's just like, I don't understand. And his teeth are just so clenched, and it makes him really hard to understand until he opens his mouth more. And he did it quite a few times there at the end of the movie, and I thought that was a little annoying and a little unpleasant. Or unfortunate. I mean, it was unpleasant, but it was also unfortunate. But generally speaking, I thought he did a really good job. I thought he, had the kind of attitude of a convict who's sealed inside of this iron lung and who's sometimes reaching out for help. And he genuinely seemed like he was emotionally distraught reaching out for help. And he generally felt like he was scared at times. Like, he did a really good job. He did better acting than the people in Whistle. I thought he did a really good job. It doesn't help that, it doesn't hurt that he's attractive as well, of course, but it's his acting. His acting was actually really good. Let's see, there's a lot of voice acting. You know what? His acting is good too because he's the only person in the scene. So he talks to a voice box for the people who are his handlers, only when he's not as deep in the ocean of blood. A lot of times he's just acting alone. But like that voice is probably fed in either to him as somebody just reading the script. So usually in in movies like that, you just have somebody off screen, reading the lines like, well, we can't do that right now. You have to go in deeper, like reading the line, and then the actor who's being filmed will respond to it. Like running lines, I think it's called. That's what I assume was happening. I'm assuming that they didn't actually have the conversations. But they could have. Who knows? You're literally just filming a speaker box on the wall of the submarine. So it's not like, that has to happen at the same time. But so his acting towards that, even though that was probably not even coming out of there, was really good. He is not naked in this movie. I'm sorry to say, guys. I'm sorry. And there is a really weird thing now. So his outfit, it's dystopian looking, whatever. And he has like this woolen sweater on. And it has holes in it and whatever. But he takes it off at one point to assess his injuries on his arms. So he takes off his sweater. So he's shirtless. And he's wearing a leather harness underneath of his sweater. Why? Like, why is he wearing this leather harness underneath of his sweater? Like, obviously it's not something for him for protection. He's not strapped to anything. He's wearing this leather kind of like bondage looking harness, like straps down here. It goes underneath his pecs, and obviously strapped across his back. I really don't know the reason why he was wearing that. It didn't ruin my enjoyment or anything. It just felt really weird that he took off his shirt and he was wearing a harness underneath in this dystopian world. Like, what purpose did it have? It didn't have electronics on it. Like, it wasn't a monitor or anything like that. I could see if it was monitoring him to make sure he was alive. Excuse me, I'm just so burpy right now. But it didn't have any of that. So it was just on. And I was like, I am currently looking at Markiplier, shirtless, on the big screen in the movie, wearing a leather harness. What a weird Wednesday afternoon. I just don't know why he was wearing it. He looked good. I'm not gonna lie, he looked good, but it was just weird. It's a weird costuming choice. This is a very slow movie. Very slow. Super slow. Sometimes too slow. And it's what you would think it was. McDonald's lover. You like McDonald's? I haven't had McDonald's in a really long time. If you enjoy gay people, sure. If you don't enjoy gay people, sure. I am not trying to hate. Lies. Lies. There is some world building in the movie. There's like narration in the beginning, and then, you know, Markiplier talks to the other characters, and they talk about things. You're a pan? That's cool. I thought you were going to say you're a pot. Sorry. LGBT humor, you know. But to be honest, I kind of wanted a bit more world building in the film. We're talking about Iron Lung. That's why I keep switching back to it in between the conversation with you. I really wanted to know more about this world. I wanted to know more about how things happen, because they talk about his crimes, because, right, Markiplier is a criminal in this movie. He's a convict. And they talk about his crimes, something about him possibly blowing up a space station of some sort, which destroyed the last known tree. And hi, McDonald's lover. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. But they don't really like delve deeper into his background story. Take that pride flag down. It's disgusting. It's not. I mean, it's probably a little dusty, Austin. But I don't think it's like disgusting. It's not dirty or anything. It's just probably a little dusty. I mean, I got your DM earlier, Austin, where you asked me to send that flag to you so you can put it on your wall. But I can't do that, you know. I'm not going to take your address. So. They're really cheap, though, online. You can probably find one for a good price, Austin. So they keep having these flashbacks of his life prior to the submarine, and even when he's a kid, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. It's called fake news. And it just didn't do enough to give me more story. You know, it didn't do enough to. You added the wrong person. That's Aurelius. It's Austin Parrish. Wah, wah, wah. It's okay. Obviously, Austin saw the flag and thought, finally, someone just like me. I must go in that channel and say and be mean because I'm just jealous of their lifestyle. Right, Austin? That's a direct line. Them too. But I really wanted to know more about this world, about this final tree, about this trinket that Markiplier found in the submarine and how it got there. I really wanted to know more about this story. And they just didn't give it to you. You know, they just didn't give you or give me as much context as I would have liked for the film. Do I believe in Goss, like Ryan Gosling? Yeah, I believe he's a real person. I mean, he's in movies and stuff. I don't think he's AI. You know, I saw him in Barbie. I'm pretty sure he's a real person. So for me, I would have liked a bit more story in there. But the tension is real. The horror aspects are pretty good. It's much more psychological. There is a lot of blood in this movie. Apparently, this movie actually has the new record for the most fake blood in a film. More than the 2017 Evil Dead. Where was that? I'm going to look at the IMDb stuff here. Can I right click this? No, you're not going to let me right click it, are you? Oh, you are going to let me right click it. Thank you. What's my favorite hobby? Watching movies, of course, and talking about them. Like what we're doing here on this YouTube blog. The world record for most fake blood used in a movie, 80,000 gallons. Evil Dead, it was 2013. I'm sorry, not 2017. 2013's Evil Dead was 70,000 gallons. I know, I got a big forehead too. I have a really fat face, but also my camera angle is like this. So it's like kind of looking down, top of the head kind of thing. It's a very kind of like a thing. I mean, I guess it still looks kind of big, huh? It's called a 5 head. But I got your DM about how much you love big heads, Austin, so thank you for that. Very polite of you. So yeah, so 80,000 gallons of fake blood. It's pretty crazy. And I mean, to be honest, it didn't feel like that much. I mean, obviously he swims in fake blood because it is an ocean of blood. So I guess that includes the blood on like the outside of the submarine that we see when he's looking through the porthole and your ego. He does swim in some blood. I mean, the submarine has issues. But yeah, it I don't know. Let's see what other trivia's happened. I don't really want spoilers. Let's look at goofs. Oh, there's just one goof. I don't know what a low taper fade meme is, my man. Or my girl, I'm sorry. You might be a lady. You seem kind of catty, so. The movie has a really great atmosphere. Like I said, it definitely feels like you're inside that submarine. Things do go off the deep end when psychologically things start to break, and there's a lot of like, is this real? Is this not real situations? He does hear multiple voices through the speaker. I mean, he hears Ava, the woman who is, you know, controlling his mission, and then he hears another voice, and they sounded kind of familiar to me. There's a part where they're like talking at the same time and he's getting confused, but to me they just sounded a bit too similar to like understand who's saying what. And I will be honest, this is a long movie, right? It's over 2 hours long. I honestly thought, because I didn't look at the time for the movie when I went in, how long it was. I was like, is this a 3-hour movie? It felt very long. And again, just like Send Help with the long parts, you know, it's part of the movie, right? He's on the submarine, he's losing sense of time, he doesn't know what's going on, what's real, what's fake, what's in his head, what's he seeing. Like, you know, it makes sense that it feels long because they want you to feel like he's feeling, right? He's losing oxygen. Like, there's a lot of things going on where it's kind of like it's an immersive experience. But to be honest, I was getting kind of restless in my seat. I was fidgeting and I was just like, can we get to a conclusion, or can we get to another piece of like lore to keep me going here and to keep my attention? And I feel like it makes it sound like I have a low attention span. I don't, I swear. It's just, you know, oh, thanks, Mr. Epstein. I appreciate it. I just was hoping certain parts, it just felt really long. Like I got out of the movie and I was like, I gotta see how long that film was. It feels so long. It was just barely over 2 hours. You know? 2 hours and 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I watched Avatar in theaters twice already. Although the first time I watched it did feel long as well. So we have to give a rating here to Iron Lung. We're going to give a rating here to Iron Lung, Markiplier's movie. You know what I'm going to look at real quick? I want to see... This is actually my second YouTuber movie, because last year we watched Shelby Oaks, which is from Chris Stuckman, and that's somebody I never heard of before in my life. But this one is Markiplier. YouTuber gone Hollywood. So let's see, Markiplier, great atmosphere, or Markiplier, Iron Lung, great atmosphere. Markiplier did much better acting than I was expecting. I like the set. I like how it slowly shifted into something else, you know. I like the creature work. I like the aesthetics. I mean, I didn't like how slow it felt in some sections, like really, really slow though. Peter Puffer, don't know what that means. Like Peter like wears a puffer jacket? That makes more sense. It is winter where I'm at, so it makes sense that Peter would wear a puffer jacket. Yeah. And I do wish there was more world building in the film. But I am going to give it... I'm not going to give it an 8 because that's too high. The world building wasn't good enough for me to give it an 8. I'm going to give it a 7.5. 7.5 iron lung. You puff your lip on Peter. I don't know any Peters, man. Is your name Peter? Is that why you sent me that DM? Is that why? Tum. So bizarre. But anyway, thanks for commenting. I love it. I love when people come in my channel just to leave me some fun comments. Helps push the video out. You know, we've had a steady stream of viewers coming into the channel tonight, and that's really great, actually. It's really great. Don't forget to like the video, though, while you're here, okay? That way we can get some traction here. So let's go ahead and recap. We did our 4 movies here tonight. We're going to start at the top of my script, or my notes. It's not really a script. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. We gave that a 3.5 to 4. It didn't do it for me. It's just, I just couldn't get into it. I didn't find the humor that some of these reviewers are talking about. I understand the humor, what it was supposed to be. I just didn't find it funny. And I'm disappointed in that. Send Help, Sam Raimi's new film. I gave that an 8. Right? I gave that an 8. Is that what I said a little bit ago? It says 8 on my thing, so. I had a question mark next to it, though. Usually I get rid of the question mark when I make my final decision. So, we'll say 8. Okay. Whistle. We give a nice solid 7 because I did enjoy that way more than I thought I was going to. It's a fun movie, and it has a good idea for it, good like lore, and the kills are gory and super creative. You know, give me more than just a stabbing. You know, give me some good deaths. And then Iron Lung, Markiplier's movie. Mark Fishbach is his real name. 7.5. Because while it was entertaining and I did enjoy it, I did feel like it drug on a bit too much in some sections, and I wasn't satisfied with the world building. I really could have used more world building. Yes, Austin, I saw your DM about dressing up as Gandalf. I saw it. Gandalf the Grey. Fly, you fools. But yeah, so those are the 4 movies of tonight's stream. You know, that's this month's live. We're gonna do another live next month. Once for Oscars Best Pictures. It might be after the Oscars because Regal is releasing the Best Picture nominees back in the theaters, but for 1 day each only. So I want to see Hamnet. I want to see Sentimental Value. I want to see Frankenstein because I haven't seen any of those. Let's see. What are the other movies? I've seen Sinners. I want to see Hamnet. I'm not going to watch Marty Supreme. I have no interest in Marty Supreme. I thought it looked stupid when I saw the trailer, and then once Timothée Chalamet started running his mouth, and plus anti-American Kevin O'Leary's in it, I'm not even going to bother with it. Sentimental Value, I want to see Secret Agent. I saw Begonia. I like that. I think I gave Begonia a 9. We talked about that last live. Train Dreams, I do want to see. One Battle After Another I saw. And then F1 I've already seen. F1 was better than I thought it would be, but it's not great. You were the stupid one. I don't even understand what that means, man. And then Frankenstein, because that's a Netflix exclusive. I don't have access to Netflix, so I'm excited to see that one as well. People have been raving about it, so I'm curious about it. But like I said, each one is 1 day only, so it starts on the 6th and goes on till the 15th. So I don't know. I have to figure out which days are the movies that I want to see. Like I said, every comment you post boosts my channel up further, so thank you. I love these random people. These random children who pop in here. So we're probably looking into third week maybe of March for the next YouTube live. But as I said earlier to Nini, that I do a video every week. I do a movie review every week. Last week was Dracula. The week before that was, I believe, Running Man, 1987. I do a lot of reviews for the Regal Mystery movies when I go see those. But we didn't have one. We had one, but it was snowing, so I couldn't go. It was just too icy out. My car was still stuck in the ground, so I watched one of my own movies. I have a whole collection of movies that I have not watched, over 100 films that I've purchased over the years and never watched, and Running Man was one of those. We did just get some more movies in. I already showed this one, Dumb and Dumber. I love Dumb and Dumber. It's one of my favorite movies. I already got your DM, Julian. I'll answer you directly in there. Okay, but don't forget to like the video there, Julian. I got Lisa Frankenstein, little special edition. Oh, this was like $7 for Blu-ray and digital. I mean, get AirPods. Well, my Venmo and my Cash App are linked in my profile. So if you want to go ahead and donate to me, you can go ahead and do that. I actually have AirPods though. They're right here. And they're terrible. This is my third pair of AirPods because they keep having the same vibration issue. And I'm done with AirPods. They just, Apple knows that they have these issues and they keep sending me ones and they all have the same vibration issue where it sounds like a broken speaker in your ear. So, but Lisa Frankenstein, that was a good one. I bought that one recently. And then right now on Amazon, Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight is $5 for Blu-ray, DVD, and digital, and the digital codes still worked. $5. $5. I mean, obviously, you know, you want to get like 4Ks and stuff like that. But this movie's perfectly fine on a Blu-ray. This movie does not need to be 4K. So, Google Pixel Buds, depends how expensive they are, you know. As a poor boy, I can't go affording all these fancy things. Having Pixel earbuds with my iPhone. Ugh, who am I? Here, I'll just show you these. I got the Best of the Platters and the Best of the Temptations. I got those at the library sale. And also Pacific Rim. I got that. Never watched it though. It's broken. The case is broken. I gotta hot glue that together. Got those 3 for $5 as well. But anyway, that's gonna be it for tonight. I'll be live tomorrow over on Twitch. We do stream on Twitch as well. We will have another movie review out tomorrow. I do need more functional earbuds. But this isn't a microphone. This is just so I can hear myself. I'm literally just talking at my phone. So this is just so I can hear me. But yeah, everybody, thanks for watching. My Twitch is the same thing as this, GremlinLord615. You'll see my smiling face right there. Very low-tech streams, by the way. Don't expect fancy graphics and all that fun stuff. It's just me, just Jack. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like the video before we head out. Subscribe to the channel if you can, or if you want, it would be great. We're always trying to grow here. I don't do this for money. I do this for the love of movies, because I literally just love movies, and I saw over 110 or 108 movies last year. But I don't really have a lot of friends to see a lot of movies, so I just need people to talk to about movies. So that's why I do these reviews, so we can talk about movies. But anyway, so thanks for watching. I saw that sub, Nutmeg. Thanks for that. And I will see you guys tomorrow if you go on Twitch. Otherwise, we'll have another review out here next week. Okay? Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Hold on. Let me figure out which button to push. I always do this. I forget which button to push. There it is. Okay. Bye.